Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today I'm going to be working on some of really just wrapping up this project. I've got a couple things that I want to experiment with, but honestly, where we have this project, well, it's a boilerplate, so it's not going to be deployed really, but it's a deployable project at this point. So I don't want to work too much more on it, and I am going to start bringing another project, I think, to the table. But I want to use this one to wrap up one of the things that I need to work on, which is I want to finish the schema. So we had some schema markup that we did a couple weeks ago, so I'm going to be working on that. And then after that, it's just going to be experimenting a little bit. Someone asked me if it's possible to do nested blocks. I don't know. I'm going to try it out and see what happens. It may work, it may not work. I'm seeing some dust up here. And then the other thing that I want to work on is reverse engineering a color picker feature in a lexical editor. So I'm hoping to work through that and see what we come up with. I'm not quite sure how that's going to go, and this may be a very frustrating stream for me, but we're along for the ride, aren't we? Yep. All right. So what we have going on here is the to-do list. So we'll start with the local business schema for addLogo. So I think I already have the basis of this set with our addLogo down here. So there are a couple things that are going to need to change, like this. Web design. And I'll make up a phone number, so that's fine. Description. This is a boilerplate NextJS and PayloadCMS project. Then we're going to use, I think, we'll have a logo there. Social link, we'll check that in a second. Globals. So I think global is actually a business name. And then here we could do our get server-side URL, which gets me the same thing. We're not going to have, well, let's get rid of all of this real quick. To do, and then I need to re-enable all of this. And so what I'm doing here is I've got my dated code here. So we have our const payload. This is initializing our PayloadCMS instance. So we've got that, and then we're calling our globals here. Then we can come down here. Do I not have my type? I don't have my type, so let's do global setting, which should bring that back in, and we can get our cached global settings. And so that's just pulling in all of our globals down here. No, I don't think I actually need this then, because globals is right here. So that globals const was probably for other things. No worries, all good there. So what we'll do now is let's go to our global settings over here and just add some dummy text. So I'm gonna have 1, 2, plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 5, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. Not a real phone number. And then I can do, I still need to do +1 here. And then we can do a display phone number of something like this. Perfect. And then for our addresses, we can just add the random restaurant that I added here. I guess it's a coffee bar. And then we can hit save there. And that's gonna redo our globals. And then I need to actually go into our footer. Yeah, okay, so I got rid of the meeting address thing, so we don't need that. But we do want to do something like address, And then we don't need to do filter address. Okay, so it's an array. So if there's multiple addresses, I think we can include that. Let's see. So if we do schema.org, we can look up our address property. And then what does this take? So JSON, we have address. So I think it can only take one single address. It can't do an array of addresses, which is fine. So we'll just take whatever the first address is. And there's probably a better way to do this, but not that I know of. Addresses. Okay, so then we have our address, and then really, so we can take our deconstruction thing here. We need our, okay, as address, payload type. So then we can take in our street address, we need our city, our state, and our zip, and we can get rid of all of this junk. And that's good. And then we've got our globals and our phone number. And then here for content URL, let's bring in our, instead of this here, we can bring in our globals dot logos dot, yeah, landscape logo. And here we need to do all of that again, globals.logos.landscape logo. And if that exists, we need to then check globals.logos.landscape logo does not equal string, and that's supposed to be type of. So let's fix that. So then now I should be able to come, let's make this a little bit easier to see. I like to do it this way. And then dot file name. Globals social link. I think that's okay because the full link is the same as. So that's good. Then we have our postal address, country, business name, contact point. So I think all of this is good. So I can save this, and then we can go to our layout for this. So we're going to go up to wherever it might be, the layout.tsx here. What is this doing? Missing title requirement. We're going to clean this up too, I think. Yeah, because I think there's a different way to do our favicons for the whole project. But anyway, so let's import a script from next script. Okay, maybe I just need to do this. So down here at the body, we can do a script. Let that import itself. Oh, so next, well, we'll do type. It's going to be application JSON plus LD. I think it might be the other way around, but we'll see here in a second. Okay, and then we'll do strategy after interactive. And then up here, we need to bring in our, oh, what is this? we'll need to do a const of, oh, we don't need to do all that actually, because we're not doing an array, we're just doing a single one. We can do JSON.stringify, and then here we're going to bring in our addLogo. And that should be it. Let's make sure that I got that right though. So let's find our script, which this should have one. It does not. Where's my add article? And why is it not here? Yes, I love PayloadCMS. I've been using it since version 2. And I hopped on the version 3 beta, and I actually got a little too excited, I think, and started working on a client project before it was stable. It still worked out. I didn't do anything too intense for the client, so it worked out, and the migration wasn't too difficult. But I am both glad and learned a lot from doing that, so likely will not do it again. At least not pulling in an unstable product into a live site, but we live and we learn. All right, so I've got a schema container, so why don't I use that? Let's find, where was I? Oh, layout. So let's use the schema container instead. I don't need to include type. I don't need to include strategy. Now this, I don't think I need either. I should just be able to do our schema and then do addLogo and then do a self-closing tag. And it is async, so I need to await. And let's see if this works. So on every page now, my schema logo thing should be there. So we will see here in a second. Okay. Global settings. Let's take a look here. Export const async. Await. All right. So let's look back over here. How did I do this? Schema. So this usually comes up when I have a client component in a server component or vice versa. So I'm not sure where that's happening because this is a server component and so is this. Let's try maybe bringing it down, and then instead of putting it in there, I can do our const schema set an array and do addLogo. Oh wait, addLogo. Which do I need to do that? Did I do that for over here? I think it's the wrong page. No, it's right. Scroll down, schema. Oh, it's right there. No, I didn't await it, but did I need to for the article? Okay, so what I think I need to do actually is take this up a level because I don't think I used async for any. Oh, I did use async for other ones. I didn't do it for image, breadcrumb, or article though. So I think we can do this in a different way. So what I can do instead is have this receive a global. And what we can actually do is, so let's set a type of props and set it equal to our global setting. And this is going to take props of props. And then we're going to, we already have our globals in our layout. So we're going to come here and use globals. And then I don't need to await the, oh, I just need to do schema. Perfect. All right, so now I just need to make some adjustments in here where I don't need this anymore, and instead I'll use props. All of these globals will be props. And so now I'm not making an API call in this component, so maybe that fixes what's going on here because I'm passing props down. There we go. Oh, I feel so smart sometimes. All right, so let's inspect this and see if this works before I toot my horn too much. So that's definitely not the business one, but let's take a look here. We've got type organization. So I can do organization. It's going to be in here somewhere. There. Oh, it's in here a lot. Okay. So I'm just looking for type organization. There it is. Perfect. I'm still at the very beginning, so I'm still finishing up schema. I'm going to start experimenting here in a second with using nested blocks. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't think it's going to work, but I've been asked a couple times. So here you're catching me at the very end of working on getting the last bit of schema.org markup that I wanted to put in. So it's there. We can see it. Logo. Oh. And it scrolls over here, so now I can see everything that I want there. And all of this is populated from my PayloadCMS backend, so I don't have any hard-coded stuff in here except for what's required. And so I could even put in a business description, which what I can do, I don't want to pull in the homepage. I think I'll leave this as it is. I'm not going to worry too hard about that. All right, so we see the schema. We're happy with the schema. Let's go up to our page and let's talk about nested blocks real quick. So somebody asked me about this where they wanted a section block. And in that section block, it's going to take other blocks where it might be for us, like we've got our content with media and our content with no media. And they're use case is having different sections with different backgrounds that have blocks and just being able to click and drag whole sections up and down. So I thought I'd give it a shot and just see what happens. And so I don't think it's going to be too difficult to do and to either prove or disprove. What do you mean, can it be isolated? What do you mean it? All right, so while we're working on that, we're going to come over to our blocks. Yep, so we'll do a new directory. We'll call this one a section. And then I'm just going to make this super easy for myself and copy and paste this stuff in here. And then instead of, oh, yeah, that works. All right, and then for config, and it's not going to be table of contents, we're going to do, this has everything I need, right? Yes. Oh, I still don't understand what you mean by isolated for the schema. Yes, so if I'm understanding you right, each of the different schema parts I did are their own. So like I've got one for adding like the local business schema, and then I have another one for the videos that I have, the images I have. All of them have their own individual schema, and then I come together in my actual collections where I want to use them, and then I put them into a schema array, which can then be used in a schema component. So this is acting as a container that just uses the script for me instead of me having to type this in each time. So I don't know if that's what you mean by isolated, but that's how I've done it, and that's how I've done it for a very long time, actually. So hopefully that answered your question. If not, feel free to continue asking. It is nice to hear, and I don't know if this is going to work, so it's going to be nice to talk about other things while I'm failing at this. All right, so we're going to take our const here and make section, and then slug of section. Plural will be sections, singular section. We'll leave this active on here. We'll have a header section. We don't need a numbered list. All we need in all of this, default section props. Don't think I'm going to need this. So this table of contents here can go. And what we're actually going to put in here, maybe name of blocks, and then we'll have type blocks. And then for the blocks, we'll have blocks as an array, where we'll then put in content with media from our config, and then we'll just say content no media from the config as well. So import, I guess it's content, with, came in, content no media config. Content no media. Is this right? Content no media, content with media. Let's go to it real quick. Yep, that's right. All right, so now we have a section block that takes blocks of different components. So section props, just making sure I don't have anything that's duplicated or anything that is unnecessary. Yeah, so I won't need anything rich text for this one. So we're going to hope for the best here. So let's go to our payload config. Then we've got our, I don't think I need to go to payload config for this because I don't think this has blocks. Blocks feature, content with media, blocks feature, blocks. So that's the default. So why don't I try adding it? Oh no, I can just add it to, we'll go to pages. So we're gonna go to our pages config, not our payload config. Okay. I guess this is duplicated. Yeah, probably page. One other thing that I wanted to check just real quick while I'm here. I think I can do two things at once. So content blocks. Let's add at the top. What is this config? I need to change the name of this. This should be content no media. This got renamed. No media. That's going to break a lot of things. Yeah, no problem, Ronnie. I actually really enjoyed doing this, so it's a little bit more than a pastime at this point. Really, the live coding is for me to get better at, like coding live and talking out my thoughts. So I'm really surprised that anybody actually watches these and that like they like them. But I'll take it. I love it. Section content no media. Okay, so I have a feeling that some things are gonna break because content no media is where. So I'm gonna have some blocks. Let's see. Where's my render blocks? Should be right there. Okay, and then index. So content no media is good. So good. I'm just making sure that since content no media got renamed to config, I need to make sure that it still works in all of our places that we're calling it. So converters, JSX, index. And it seems like it is. Is this TS ignore still needed? Yes, because enable intro for some reason doesn't work right. All right, so moving back on. Nice little detour. We're going to go back to our pages config. I added this section, so let's go ahead and just run npm dev real quick. And when just so I don't forget, check if I need to leave read as public. So I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I want to work on one thing at a time. Oh, I need to come over here. This is what I'm working on. All right, so let's go. Nothing's broken yet. Let's take a look at our pages collection. Let's go to something a little shorter. So we'll go to contact us. I do contact, and then I can add a block called section. Now, what's going to happen with this section is I did not, sorry, one thing. So I didn't change the component yet, so we're gonna have to do that here in a second. But what I'm seeing now is that the header level can be cleared, and that shouldn't be. So luckily, I should have all of these in its own little component here. So instead of header level, I can do, well, in header level, I can do admin, and then is clearable, set that to false. False. All right, so now if I add that section block, header level is essentially required, but it's really just not clearable. All right, so let's do section, and then we'll add a block. Oh, this section block is missing something key though, because what I need to do is, if I can find it again, section config. So we need to also include, I'm going to do it below the header section, do a color picker, and it's not really going to be a picker yet, so it's just going to be, we'll say background color, and we're just going to take a text field for now. And this can be like a hex value or a name value. I'm not going to support like RGB or RGBA here. I'll just do either hex or a name. I don't even know if I would do that. I might just do a hex value. So let's add a description, enter hex value of color for background. Okay, perfect. So background color, and then I can see a need for a text color here too. And so I'll do that. And then I can set some clear defaults as well. Enter hex value of color for text. All right. So let's save that. Okay, so now I can finally add this section. Then we will just do a background color of F, and then a text color, so white and black, and then a block, content with media. We'll just choose from existing. Okay, that cleared for some reason. So FFF000. Let's actually do EFE. Just so it's not plain white, and then something like 001100, so it's not all black. Then we'll add a new block. Try this again anyway. Choose from existing that. Header text, content in section, landscape, some text to test nested blocks, No buttons, just to make it easy. Text position left. Then we'll add another block with content no media. This is just some text. Don't want to include primary background color, content no media, nested blocks test. And let's hit save. So this is likely going to break something because, or I guess maybe not. All right, perfect. So now we're going to, how is this going to work? We'll go into our component for nested blocks. All right, sorry, our section rather. And we'll do an index, and we're going to export. We're not going to use client. I don't even think I needed use. Oh no, I have a use effect in there. All right, and so we're going to take our section props, which that did not import. Section props. Okay, then we have header section, and then blocks. All right, so then we'll do if active. We'll keep these stuff here, these things here. Words are hard. So this will be section block. We don't need use effect, and that might break something anyway. Yes, Gil, probably. I have not seen one. I've seen a couple of plugins that do a color selector. I'm not sure if Payload still has one that is like built into it, but I know somebody designed like a, I think they called it field enchantments or something like that. That might do it. But I've not seen anything for that. Somebody is currently, I've seen on the Discord, someone is currently working on a picker in Lexical. So we will see if there's something like that. It's something that can be built. I just haven't built it yet, and I'm not sure anybody else has reliably. So I know there is payload. I'll have to look it up. It's an npm package, so maybe it'll be on npm. I'm gonna look into it now. ext or payload ext payload. I don't remember what it's called. I've got the link somewhere. I'll come back to it when I finish this. So we're then going to show or pull in our render blocks, and we're going to take in our blocks here. So property blocks is missing in type. So does it need blocks? All right, let's push ahead for a second because that should be right. If I go to my page. Oh, no, it's not right. Okay. So it should be blocks. Oh, that's dying. So blocks equal blocks. It's definitely an array, but it doesn't have this section in it. Section equals section component. So that should be section block. We'll see if something happens. Okay, so far nothing. Let's go ahead and log our blocks. See what we're getting here. Oh, there we go. Okay. Interesting. So I think this is technically a nested block, right? So I still don't know why this blocks isn't quite working right. But this is a section block. So if I come, we do have a header. So content with media. So I need to add header text. So we can do section block and hit save. Yeah, so we've got one block with 2 blocks inside of it. So that means we could do something like a single section and then like 3 columns, and then those 3 columns can have objects in them or different components in them. So that means if I get rid of really all of this and just have the div so it can take up a full screen. Didn't take the background color. Oh, well, no, I didn't add anything with the background color yet. So in the div, we can then take, we need background color. We won't do anything with the text color, but we can then add style background color and then set that to be background color. So then we need to do, I guess, or we can set a default, which would be, yeah, white is fine. So then I hit save. That's not going to change anything, but I could change background color to be pink. And then refresh, and there we go. We have it. So then we would be able to, so first I would want to build this out. So we wouldn't just have like the background color text or the text color text. We would be able to actually like select the color that we want and see it. So we'll come back to that here in a second, but I'm actually pretty impressed that this works. I guess I don't see why it wouldn't work, because it's just recursion essentially. So background color, can I do something a little bit? Let's do DD. Oh, that's an F. I just want to see something that's a little bit more clearly different. Oh, because, all right, now I understand. So this needs to have the hex value there. There we go. So that's there. I wouldn't have the section block as an actual header. But then what I could do is just now, very easily, very simply, duplicate this and then change the color to be a different shade of gray. And we see it there. So I also do see a little bit of a gap here. I don't know what that is. So let's take a look. We got our div here. Then we have another div here. Interesting, interesting. Okay, well, that answers somebody's question who is asking about the ability to do something like this, where you have a section, you can set a background color, and then you can put the blocks inside that. So very easily done, it seems. So I don't think I could do something like having section be a block of itself. But who knows? Yeah, I didn't think so. That would be too deep there. All right, so now I'm feeling good about that. Well, let me see if I can figure out this style issue here. So main, then we have our div, which that's the actual part of the contact page. That is the form itself. So then we've got a div that has a section container, another section container, and then nothing between it. So that's interesting. So maybe we do, just to check, we can do our margin bottom and set it to 0. Refresh? No? Okay. But just to see if it works, 10 rem, negative. Yeah, so I would have to figure out some spacing things there, but that is how it is done. So I'm impressed. I wasn't expecting that to work, and especially not so easily. But I guess now in hindsight, like, why wouldn't it? It doesn't seem too far-fetched to allow a blocks field to accept blocks as well. So cool. And then if I want to get rid of these but keep them in the back end, I can just deactivate the block and then it's gone. But we don't need these on our front end at all. But I do like the ability to have that section, because now I can add, so instead of like back at our, let's make sure this goes away, back on our home page, like I would be able to do a block for like the content with media and 2 cards. Like that could be one section, and I could style that section by using colors, not necessarily anything else, but I'd be able to use one color here and then have it change back to white, and then have the 3 and 4 card headers there, and then the CTA section could be white and by itself. So very interesting to think about, and I think it's worth exploring a little bit more. But so let's take a look into our render blocks and see why this isn't quite working. I think it's something to do with this. Am I able to do content? No. So I think I can do page. So it's not content, but it is content. That's going to be wrong. So blocks is not assignable to type. Type null is not assignable. So I think I do need to do blocks. Still not quite, but oh, do I have the same type error here? I do. Okay. So that's deeper than I thought it was. At TS. Ignore, so just like any professional would do, let's ignore that and move on. Cool. All right, so now we can go check that off our to-do list. So to-do, lost music there for a second. With the background color field with blocks inside, that would be text and media. Is this just using render blocks inside the block? Yes, it is. So we have tried nested blocks. I have a feeling, unless this color thing doesn't go well at all, we're not going to get to the search plugin tonight. And that's okay. Don't need to do that. Excuse me. Let me get some water real quick. It wouldn't be easier to work with block variants to restrict choices. Could you post an example of what you're thinking? It can be pseudocode. I'm just wondering how that would work. I mean, I don't like using inline styles like I just did, so any other option would be definitely preferred for that. All right, so let me see. I don't know what's going to pop up on my screen, if anything at all. Perfect, nothing. So I need to find the color picker feature thing that I wanted to try. Oh, well, here's one that's a plugin. Let's take a look at it. Here, I can put it on my screen here. So this is one that somebody on the Discord who they dropped like 9 payload plugins. It's probably more than that now. No, it's 9. And they have a color picker field now. So it uses Tailwind, it seems. Well, let's take a look at it. Interesting. So this, though, oh, so Gil, are you thinking like using a drop down to select like I have light primary color or dark primary color, and then just like black, white, and then having a drop down for them to select, and then on the front end, like in the actual code, that's where I make the actual front end decisions rather than typing in some random hex value and hoping that it works. Hold on, I need to plug something in. Okay, so this here, this is not a like lexical thing, so it seems like this would work for, excuse me, what I'm doing for the block. So why don't we actually try it? So we're gonna do, whoops. npm install. And this I just saw on the Discord the other day, so I'm assuming it's totally fine. Okay, and I found the extension that I was looking for too. I have a feeling that this isn't going to work anymore though. But anyway, so this should work. So let's do in our section, add the field to your collection. I should be able to add it to a block then, right? So if I do import create color field, yep, there's that. And then import create background color field. I can come here and replace type text with, oh, I see. Yeah, okay, so we were thinking the same thing. Yes, that would be easier, and I have done that in the past. So I honestly, whenever I see someone talking about using a color picker, I get a little nervous because knowing like the teams that I've worked on, especially like, I mean, I work in marketing, so like the marketing team and all that, just randomly choosing colors that aren't quite straight to brand makes me nervous. But yes, so having options of like, I want this button to be colored my green, or like my primary color, and then on hover I want it to be my secondary color. That's just an example, but yes, I do think you're right. Just having selections that the web dev and the web designer choose rather than letting someone else choose for you. Just making sure that everything stays within style, brand, colors, and all that. But still, people ask for this kind of stuff, so I'm always interested in seeing what we're able to do. So let's see. We're going to create a color field, and we're going to have name be background color. And so we're going to get rid of this, but first, not type, label, I can do background color, and then can I do an override, a description? No. Okay, so I wouldn't be able to add descriptions to these here. And then let's do create. Oh, so this should be create background color field. And so this is a just like, this is not an official plugin or anything from PayloadCMS. So I don't know if I can recommend this together, all together, but let's see how this works. So let's go over to our edit. Oh, first, I got to restart the server. Yeah, I've worked on enough WordPress sites to understand how giving editors too much control is just a bad idea. Okay, so let's go back to our contact, because that's what I'm editing here. Add block, go to section, and let's take a look at what these look like. So, all right, so it looks like I need to generate an import map first. So let's do that. Sometimes it works where I don't have to generate an import map right away. Other times I have to do it. So let's try that again. Pull it up. All right. Refresh this. Absolutely. All right, all right, all right. Contact. Okay, I thought I just lost everything. All right. I was about to just uninstall this. All right, so interesting. Let's see. Oh, well, I guess I have to have Tailwind installed. Now the trade-off of installing Tailwind. Do I want to do that in this project that is nearly where I want it to be? Probably not. But maybe if I can just install it and not use the... Let's just install it. We'll see what happens. We're just experimenting now. That's all. Tailwind merge is already in here anyway. So let's do Tailwind CSS. This is version 4, yes. So I'm just going to install it. I don't want to do anything with, I guess I have to do something with the config, but I'm not going to import it or anything or add it to my style sheet. Oh, I need to do npm. All right. I hate that I'm doing this in a nearly done project. All right, new file, post CSS config, and just to check if an extension works. Okay, so we got a config, pnpm dev. I'm not going to import it anywhere. Just refresh this and see if it works. If it doesn't, we move on and we look at the other one that I was going to look at. Okay, so far so good. Add a block, add section. So far not so good. All right, let's get Tailwind out of my project. I'm going to leave this here because I think it came with the payload blank template that I'm using. All right, so okay, that was weird. Get rid of all of that. Then if we come to our section component, our section config here, get rid of these. Get rid of these as well. So next we'll try this other package that I saw. And then this is the one that I was going to try and reverse engineer. As soon as I figure out the installation, there it is. So we can do npm and then do add. This one was also, I think this one was actually on Reddit that I found. So you're having a better time than I am right now. I figured that this was going to be the tough part. Okay, so here we have a conflicting peer dependency. So I think the installation still went through. So let's see what happens. I need to find a lexical field for this, so we can just go to our section component, content with media. So we have our lexical editor here, where we can add our features. And we're going to keep our default features. But then we're also going to, default features. Let's add, here, let me bring this over as well. All right, so this is what I'm working with. So if we do, again, here's the color picker, which just gets dangerous. But let's do text color feature. And then import that and see, just in case, I'm going to generate an import map. I don't think I need it, but just in case, never know. pnpm dev. And so when I saw somebody on, again, somebody who responded to this on Reddit was like, hey, it doesn't work. And then I think the author of this plugin just went MIA. So no clue where they went, but let's see if it works in our content. And this is our content with media. So let's add a block. Let's make sure this works. Okay, yeah, it still works. And then I can do content with media. And then in our lexical field, type some text. And then here we can do a drop down. Oh, hey, look at that. This actually worked kind of. And then I can save, and let's take a look at what this looks like. Emails. All right, so this is part of the form. Anyway, still the form section. All right, content with media, background, center. Okay. So then I assume on the front end then, so I need to go to my render, my rich text. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? I need to start closing folders as I go. Let's go to our text converter. And then text, is highlight. So that's what I added that one. So here, text, return text. So I could add this here, or I mean, that's the best place to add it. I just don't want to add a span around stuff. Let's see if they have like their guide of how they did it. Oh, they already have a lexical feature for it. Oh wait, no, that's what I just did. All right, so then here, import JSX converters. Okay, so then we need to go to our converters index. And then we will, this is getting a little hairy too. Okay, so import their JSX converters as color converter. And then this needs to not be that. From payload lexical extension. And then let's pull in their color converter. And if I were smart, I would have saved that change. And I think I did because I am a little smart. Yes, again, if I was smart, I would choose not green. Okay, so again, another plugin doesn't work. So let's see. Yeah, so the problem I'm running into here is it seems that somewhere along the line in all of this, which I wonder if I can see, there is a use client and use server being mismatched somewhere. Image size, node module. So I don't think this is anything that I'm going to be able to fix. And this is all starting to feel like a waste of time now. But is this something that I would be able to reverse engineer? Maybe. Do I want to? Not really. I did add, well, let's see if it's just the text color one that's messed up. Let's do the BG color feature. See what happens. Oh. Let's make sure that that wasn't an issue. Classes? Oh, classes can go, yeah. Rich text can go. Okay, so, yep. Broke. Oh. I'm just trying to rule out everything before I just say it's all broken. Okay. Oh, dang it, man. All right. So we'll try one other one, and then we will move on. By move on, what time is it? We'll see. Background. G-color feature. So then we can do our BG color feature. I have a feeling that this is going to be the same kind of situation, but we'll see here in a second, because I don't think it's the feature that's the issue. I think it's the converter that's the issue. Color converter, const, block slug, JSX converters. Is this read-only? It is read-only. Okay. Well, that was fun, hanging out, trying to figure out if other color pickers work, but I'm not really into figuring that out anymore. But one more thing to check. I want to see if there is, in this, I want to see if there's any And it could be that just some update broke the stuff, and I get it, that happens, it's fine. I want to see if there's any redeeming qualities of this plugin. If we do something like the YouTube feature, will that work? Oh, well, then I still need to get rid of the JSX converter, which is this here. Yeah, so the problem... we'll make sure, yeah. So it seems that the problem is not in what was done back here. So there's text that has color there, that's great. And then I can add YouTube. I think I might need to add... yeah, because it's not to the slash menu. So let's back. So if I were to make my own JSX converter, which like I did it here, I could do it again. That might work, but it just doesn't seem worth the effort, honestly. Let's do our fixed toolbar feature. And then that's client side, so that's going to need to refresh. Okay, then we have our fixed toolbar there. We can add a plus, add YouTube. Okay, cool. That was fun. Why don't we, instead of trying to get into the search plugin, why don't we look at some other plugins that I've seen that I haven't had a chance to mess with. So let's see here. So no thanks. So they have a bunch of tools here. Let's see what else they have. Anything that I'm interested in. Authorization. Oh, wait. There's something else I wanted to do. I'm definitely completely focused right now. So let's take a look over in our pages config. There's this here. I think, let's do rec and then just set it to user perms. So there has to be some kind of login for it. I think that's going to break this. I think. Let's do payload generate types. But it may not, because if I go to my page slug, I should be overriding my access here. So but I also have auto login set. I don't know if that matters. So let's try that. So let's go to our payload config. Then auto login right there. So get rid of you. Okay, and then if I do false, interesting, but I can go to the home page because it's querying that. Now let's go down or up to our blog slug, which should be doing the same thing, where let's just try setting this to false first. And then go to our blog. Oh, but also our blog config. Config. All right, we got our posts. And then if I can do because I would like to protect the API a little bit better. Okay, so let's go to our blog page. And if I go back to blog, that still works. Okay, so I don't know then. Draft mode can be imported from next headers. So draft mode next headers. So that's the same. So we have our draft mode next slash headers, draft await here, cache async, draft mode, yeah. So up here, you can take cache async, sort. Oh, I need to await. It's always the small things. All right, so let's bring you back up here. Okay, so that changes nothing, but would I be able to then go to view this API route? Because if so, then the permissions need to change as well. So there should be dev at payload.com. Copy. Will you let me do anything? Well, we can just do yeah, so it's still showing there. Override access, let's do false. Interesting. Okay. So let's then try one more thing and then move on from there. So we can get back to our post config. We can start closing some of this stuff. Here's the post config. So instead of user permissions, do I have admin perms? Even that still works. But I wonder what the website template does for this. I can go to the app. Well, no, we'll go to source, collections, posts, index. They just have authenticated or published. So let's see what that does. Collections, source, should be utilities probably. I probably should have checked what it actually was. Authenticated access. Okay, so up to access. There we go. Anyone authenticated. So let's steal this because I haven't done anything with authentication in a little while. So if we go to our permissions folder, can do access args, and then let's just take authenticated. Oh, this is gonna break so much stuff. That's fine. I'm here for breaking stuff. So we'll just go to all of our collections and change it to authenticated. Okay. So this is going to be the thing that mostly needs to be redone. So we'll go to all of our collections, which really shouldn't be too, it is a lot. That's fine. So we'll first fix all of these. And then we'll fix the import. Read and update, so I can paste that, but create, delete. Read and update again. Media. Okay, that's right. Redirects. Break in everything. All right. And users. Obviously, I would want some of these to be actually like more than just authenticated. That's why I had admin before. So I'll add those back in, but for right now, I'm just gonna make this work. At least I think I'm gonna make it work. I don't actually know. I haven't done any like research on authentication beyond like the basic yet. So we will see if this actually fixes anything. Why didn't that get fixed? It did. Okay. Just had to think about it. Almost there. All right, so all of that is redone. And I'm still able to read. I wonder if it's because I am authenticated. Yes, it is because I'm authenticated. So now if I go to our blog, that's fine. I can do API posts. Not allowed to perform, page, route, not, oh, pages. Okay, great. That's exactly what I wanted. So for some reason, this is still authenticated, but now, so if I go to my page here and do override access here and set it equal to draft, excuse me, I should be able to refresh this, get some drink. All right. Interesting. Okay, so then if I set it's true, will anything happen? It will not, but that does tell me that I'm able to still access my blogs. Never mind. So override access set to true. So then we can come up here. Okay, set that to true. All right, perfect. So long story short of what I just was working on, I wanted to see if there was a way to protect the API route when I am not authenticated. So it does seem like I can. Let's set this back to draft, see what happens. I'm probably doing a little too much here, but all right. That's fine. So I do need to work. So I guess I still need to work on authentication before I call it quits on this project, because I want to be able to potentially protect the API route, but if I don't need to, then I won't. And I don't have anything like private information anyway, so I don't think I'm too worried about it. So draft mode, though, does not do anything for me here. Oh, can I do? I guess I need to do true there. Then if I go to page, I can do true and then draft. Yeah, so I need to understand authentication a little bit more and then how to do different roles. So I have authenticated, but I would also like to have something like admin and then something like viewer or manager or something like that. So let's add it to our to-do list. So we're not going to do the color picker background, but we will work on auth. But we'll do that after working on the search plugin. Oops. Okay, that didn't show anything. Good. So I think we'll work on the search plugin next time. We're done with the authentication. We have everything working back to how it was. We did our nested blocks. Okay, so not everything is as it should be quite yet. Oh, I already have draft in there. Oh, up here, override access, true. And then let's also review website template to see how PayloadCMS does auth. Okay, and I think there might have been one other thing that I wanted to work on. Let's delete this nested block here. Yeah, me too. I have not done any research into auth setup, so that may take a little bit to get to, and it's not going to be anything, I don't think anything too advanced. Do I need to restart my server here? But it is going to be an adventure. I haven't done a video on it yet, but it's on the list. I'm doing custom components now on the, here, figuring out how to do different things for it, which I'm really excited for, but those are going to be long videos. So I'm trying to make the time to also get to auth pretty quickly. And then after that, I'm planning on doing like a full tutorial from project start to where I'm building it from the blank template and then building the ideas to build my the NLV codes website where I can host all these videos. And for those who prefer to read, which is actually me, I prefer to read rather than watch a video to learn. So I want to make sure that I have something for that audience as well. Anyway, so let's go to, I can't select anything here. I wonder if I broke anything up here either. It's very weird because I don't think there's any oh, shoot, I know what I did. So my user, dang it, man. So my user collection assigns permissions based on those old values, which means I have to undo everything I just did. So that's very fun. So let's, yikes. Where's my, it should be under utilities, right? Permissions. So I guess I will reserve all of this authentication stuff after I actually learn how to do it. I just have to make sure that this still works. No, that's fine. Okay. Redirects. Always fun when I have to just come back through and undo everything I just did. I'm like all hunched up. Don't know why I'm doing that. Ooh, that's a good crack. Okay. Just about undone. So disappointing. All right, and then this should be the last one here. All right. So let's make sure I'm back to good working order. So far does not seem like it. It would really suck if I broke my project. All right, let's go to payload config. Let's re-enable also our auto login, which may be what the issue is. Okay. Localhost 3000. Okay, so it's working. It's just not working here. Can I... Okay, well, so I seem to be locked out. I can still access it, so I know it's not too broken. I might not have had to actually undo all of that auth stuff that I just did, but now I can access all of my things again, log out all of it. So let's take a look at our to-do list for next time. Search plugin, we'll work on auth, we'll review the website template, and we're going to remove this color picker and block. There's one other SEO thing I might want to look at because I have the component for it. And I think I even have the information in SEO already. Yeah, I've got like these about entities and entity mentions. This is something that I was testing before, where like you can tell through schema markup what a page or a thing is about or what it mentions. So say you did a blog post about puppies, you could show other sites, or like the best way is probably to show it. So we could do a thing and then a puppy, and then it would be the same as a Google site here where you can look up through this knowledge graph reference to see how Google labels puppies. But I'm not sure if it actually does anything, so I'm going to think about it, but entity or about and entity mentions. And maybe I'll do it. It depends. I'll see if the research is supporting it yet. But it's just such an obscure part of SEO that I'm not sure it's something that people typically would want to see. But as far as I can tell, this project is pretty close. So let's just go ahead and commit it so I can say I actually did it. So we need to add and then M, and then this is 2025-02-26 stream. And so that'll be up in my GitHub now. But yeah, I think this is a good place to stop. We did some good work here. I say that every time, but we did get our schema finished. So I'm happy with where we landed with that, where we now have like a local business schema that we can just use it from our global settings, which is great. And then we worked with nesting blocks, which I can see good value in that, where you have like your major block that is sectioned off, and then we could do like an option drop down where people can select, I want the primary color, I want the secondary color, all of that. So that is something that you could do, but we went over that and it does work. I'm kind of surprised in hindsight. Don't know why I was so surprised. Gil, thanks for watching. It seems like you stuck around for most of this. I'm glad you enjoy watching me struggle through live coding. Hopefully through all of this, and even with just messing around with those plugins that don't seem to work, hopefully there was some goodness in there and we were able to learn some stuff. So I always learn a little bit more whenever I do these live coding sessions. And of course, I always appreciate the audience that these seem to get. So if you have any comments, suggestions, questions, feel free to drop those in a comment. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel. I have it's a live coding video that I edited and chopped up and exported a bunch of different videos going over some things. That's coming out tomorrow at 8, and I have another one on Saturday coming out at 8. And I drop new tutorials on PayloadCMS every Tuesday. I am starting to do more research on Tailwind. I know a few people have asked about Tailwind and how that works with PayloadCMS. So I've got some content coming out about Tailwind as well. So excited to have all that stuff come out. So make sure you're subscribed and getting notifications for those things that are coming up and coming up fast. So I think that's it for tonight. I'm rambling now. I had a good time. Hopefully you did as well. Hopefully you learned something. And thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.